Hey, this is Amanda Sharp with Unapologetically You, where I bring on fantastic people that I've met in the last year or so, or really my lifetime, and just have a really open conversation around personal development and also my book. So, Kari Gibbons is a good friend that I met. I don't know, when did I meet you? A couple months ago?
Like a year ago.
Oh, year. You can tell how many events I go to. And yeah, we just really hit it off, and we actually have some common friends. That's kind of funny too. So let's talk about. So welcome on.
Hi, thanks
Great
for
to see
having
you.
me. It's great to see you too.
Yeah, we hit it off pretty hardcore at
Yeah,
the
you're
event.
awesome.
I usually gain about 5 like really solid people every event that they're just my peeps, you know. So
Yeah.
she's definitely one of them, and
What's the
she's
dancing? Thanks.
the what?
The dancing.
Oh, people know me for that for some reason. Uh, so we just hit it off, and she bought my book, and I always want to talk to people that are new in that material because my book's old material for me. So I want to hear how it's affecting people and how to get it in other people's hands. And so Kari's coming on here to chit chat a little bit, but let's start with like, what has personal development been for you?
Uh, Game changer for one. It's completely changed my entire life. From the inside out. Self development is something that I do daily. I I started Entre last year, and really I have done other self development things, I guess, like throughout life. We get introduced to them various ways, but I never really like considered it necessary until I started like my weight loss journey and then my business journey. And then they kind of just like merged together. And now it's like this beautiful present of like self development and um, physical and mental improvement daily with daily improvement. And yeah, so it's changed everything for me.
Yeah, that's interesting. So talk about, because I believe this too, because I do health products as well. Just it's not about releasing weight, it's really working through the negative self-talk and all of the trauma that has created you to choose poorly in eating and movement. Do you
Yeah,
have agreement on that, or what do you think?
100%. We go through life and we have all these things, these situations, and all these labels that we attach to ourselves, and these coping mechanisms. And instead of actually doing the hard thing and just like dealing with the thing and solving it, and then not having to rely on emotional, um, you know, outlets
Just
like food
numbing
and
out
yeah, numbing out for sure.
whatever has to happen to shut down the negativity inside your brain.
Yeah.
And that's really what we do at the seminars I shoot for that I've met Kari at, is really look at the insights, like what is going on with you internally, because that's how you're showing up in the world. And once you start getting on that bandwagon, I mean, you never really arrive. You're just constantly in
Working
growth,
progress.
growth or decay.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's been fun watching Kari completely rock out her life. Tell us about your health journey as far as like just a quick bullet point of what you've accomplished.
Yeah, I lost like 100 pounds over a course of I think the period of losing all of the weight was about 9 months. Um, it completely changed my entire life, and not only my life, but multiple people around my life, because once I started to lose the weight and I started to feel better and my brain started to actually work, and I was like, oh, I have all of this baggage, like, oh my God, all these things that are not true about myself. I just have adopted other people's words
Mm.
and yeah, facilitated them into my life and just uh let that run my life, honestly. And once I started shedding all these things and going to these events and working on myself and improving myself, um it's just gotten better. It's like literally gets better every single day. Um, but yeah, just I'm a completely different person. Just
Yeah.
from one thing wanting to lose some weight, and now I'm literally an entirely different person.
Yeah, I didn't know you before, so I only know you in this shape and look.
I was
Um,
puffy.
uh, so do you feel like you could lose the 100 pounds and never work on the internal, or you have to
Mm.
work on the internal for the 100 pounds to come off?
So you have to, and this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like to be successful in the longevity of a weight loss journey, you have to identify the things that are causing you to gain the weight.
Yeah.
And those are the hardest things for people. They don't understand. Like, it's not food that's really making you gain the weight. It's how you're eating the food, how often you're eating the food, what the food is that you're eating. Like there's so many things that go into it. And if you don't identify the stressors or the emotional eating and all of the reasons why you do these things, then you're not going to keep the weight off. And I think that's why I've been so successful and why I've been able to maintain this weight is because like I started with the weight loss, then I started with the diet. I don't call it a diet. I just changed my
Yeah.
nutritional intake. And then I started with the self development, and then I'm back to school. I'm doing all these things, and it's just building on top of each other, and it's just made this honestly the most beautiful life I could have ever imagined.
I love it. I mean, that's a huge testimony for all of it. Um, the just the self-worth aspect of it is huge. Your crappy core belief and changing that is huge.
Yeah,
But you can't, I mean, this is totally on PC to say, but that's me. You can't keep arriving from the fat girl complex. You have to come at it from a gorgeous, cherished, loved, worthy woman.
yeah.
And until you get to that place, it's pretty hard to keep going. The why is not there.
When
Um,
also when you change, like when I would say from like 2 years ago to now, looking in the mirror then and like literally, oh, this makes me want to cry. Hating, like literally hating myself and everything about myself.
yeah,
Um, to now, when I look in the mirror, I like just want to cry for how grateful and how much I love myself. And like literally all day long, I tell myself amazing things because I believe these things. And I know that knowing these things and believing these things and saying these things to myself is how I got here.
yeah, that makes me happy because you're like drop dead gorgeous, and I don't just I spew compliments on a regular, but seriously, every time I see you, I'm like, she's so smoking hot. And I'm not into women, so it works out great. But I mean, just from a photography standpoint too, it's like, geez, I'm really glad to hear that's actually how you feel about yourself. And it's
Yeah.
not cocky. It's like
Just a love.
it's just your inner beauty makes your outer beauty just phenomenal.
Aw,
That's
thanks.
my belief. Um, so let's talk about what did you like? You've read my book or parts of it. I don't
I read the whole
expect
thing.
everyone to read the whole thing.
No, I read the whole thing.
Talk to me about like, do you have ahas or what do you want to say about it in general?
I think it's beautiful. It's insightful. The stories in there are not only hilarious and just really highlight who you are as a person. It it gives the reader like a sense of connection with you. And like going into these deep situations that we experience and sharing these and writing them in a book, and it's hard, and
Mhm.
to do it in a very insightful, hilarious way, to make it light but like very deep. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do. I mean, it really is. You're a real artist in so many ways, not in just like your book and your photography, but like just in life, and the way that it kind of gives the reader a sense of like how you do all of these things, and how beautiful you are as a person.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's interesting because I mean, I wrote the book quite a while ago, and I immediately had resistance, from the old company I used to work for, that we couldn't solicit anyone with anything. And so I wrote this book and press publish, and I couldn't tell anyone about it. All my Facebook friends were people, because I've been in the work for 20 years. So I took that as an obstacle that stopped me. And then also putting I call it your underwear drawer, or literally your, like, publishing your personal journal.
Yeah.
And so the the bravery that it takes to put that out there and know that there's just humans that cannot take the style that it's written in, like the analyticals, have a tough time. Because
Yeah, but the thing about it is, I think there's people for things, and there's always going to be people against things, right? No matter
True.
what. No, if you are Mother Teresa, she literally had people like, against her. Like, how do you be against Mother Teresa? Like, it's
You
just,
don't
it
like her
doesn't matter who
dress?
you are, or yeah, what you're doing. You'll always have people against it. But the thing about it is you have a massive amount of people that are going through these things, that
Yeah.
are heartbroken and think that it's not relatable. And when you
Sure.
write these things out and you write them with the faith, because I know that you're like super super not, I don't know if it's a religious or a spiritual kind of thing, but um uh I don't get caught up on the two. I I believe, and that's what it is for me. And when you connect those two, it just makes it uh so that the person reading it, if they're going through that, can be brought through that and know that there's hope.
Yeah, that's really right why I wrote it. One, for my legacy. Two, I had extreme accountability around it. Three, I was just going to do a coffee table book on um, crapping yourself mishaps. It was going to be called Tales from the Dark Side. And it was just going to be stories about, like, crapping mishaps, literally. Because my kid's dad and I both had major gut issues. And so we
I
just
can
had
relate.
endless stories. And he was in construction and had just endless stories. And he's super funny as well. So the two of us could expound on, a story and just make it over the top. And there are some of those stories in my book because you have to have those. And I think that's partially one of my gifts, is just bringing out subject matter that no one would ever talk about and ever tell that story, much less print it and publish it to the world. But that's what I love to give people, is the grace to be unapologetic. And to me, that doesn't mean you're going to deal with my personality because this is who I am. That's not unapologetic. I'm talking about a healing person that talks about real life stuff, you
Yep.
know? So I appreciate that insight on the book. What else do I want to ask you? Oh, do you like the style that it's written in?
Yes. Honestly, I think it was perfect for me because like I'm like, my schedule is so insane. So I
Yeah.
set specific times throughout the day to read, and it allowed me to um read it daily and not lose my place and then have to go back and read the page before. And so I love that. And so I read it like literally every day, as much as I could throughout the day, you know what I mean? And so I love that, the way that it's written. You can, I have like a book, like a stack of books that I read, like in the morning when I wake up, and I just threw it in there so I just read, a couple pages, and throughout the middle of the day, go back, read a couple more pages. And then at night before I go to sleep, read a couple more pages, and I love it.
I like the style too. Like, I'm an avid journaler, and I didn't want to do a book that everyone else has done. I'm just an eclectic artist style person, and I don't really rule follow, obviously, based on my grammar. But it just was so fun to pull together an actual book that I would want to read and go through. And you're right, you could pick it up anywhere you want. You don't have to read it cover to cover. What is your favorite humor piece in there? I just wanted to know that personally.
The one with the poop.
Which one, in Venezuela?
Yeah.
or my kid's dad.
I think all the poop pieces I think are really hilarious. But the one with your kid's dad was they're both very funny. The Venezuela one and the one with your dad. I think they're right there together, because I was dying.
They're dying pieces. It's funny. I asked, he's my ex-husband, and we have a great relationship. That's what personal development did for me, was to show me how to have a great relationship with my ex and my kid's father. Because full circle, my kids have graduated. One of them got married, and all those events, those life events, I'm just going off on a tangent now, but it is the greatest reward to me taking the high road, is to be able to invite all the family to these events and not even flicker an eye. Right. He comes and hangs out here with the boys, and it's fine. It's great.
Wonderful.
And that is personal development.
Yeah.
At the core.
Like, I mean, and really that's like why we do these things, is so we don't have the baggage that keeps poking us and making, you know what I mean? Like, just having to relive all the same stuff over and again, and just be like, okay, let's just identify the things, heal the things, and then like move on. That way we can just be awesome all the time. You know what I mean?
And it's keeping a short record of wrongs. It's having the big girl conversations. I mean, I just had one yesterday with a friend, and it's like, I need to clear with you. This is how I'm feeling, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, that's not what I meant at all. Okay. And
it's always how it happens too, right? We have these big moments, and we put up these walls, and we're like, oh my God, look at this whatever. Da, 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 da. And then it never was like that. And I've had those moments too, where I'm just like, I just want you to know, that really affected me in this way or that way or whatever. And they'd be like, oh my God, are you serious? I'm so sorry. And then you've been harboring these feelings that were never actually real.
And for me to have the kind of humor I have, I mean, I could be offending people every 10 minutes. And it's just allowed so much grace for me to introduce the space of hey, come to me if you think. But I think I breathe, since I healed myself and my identity and who I think I am, I'm able to overflow into others and actually, speak encouragement and exhortation to a human, because I feel loved myself. I can overflow into others. But when I was bitter and angry and an emasculator of men, people questioned the stuff that came out of my mouth way more often. Yeah. I think they finally have figured out I really do love them, and want to see them succeed. So I was going to tell you at the end of, so I asked my ex if he minded me telling those stories in my book, because I didn't want to go overboard. He goes, oh my gosh, I just had something happen at Arby's today. I'm not going to share it on here. Bro, we need to stay on that gut health stuff.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
it does wonders.
But yeah, I think you've shared a little bit of your story too on your page, but just you have to heal the things that are causing the issues. It's not all like I'm a full on IBS old school woman. It's why I got on the products I did. But really, it wasn't my bowel track. It was my emotional instability and all the anger and all the angst of the people around me. And honestly, the people pleasing was
Yeah.
insane. Um, until I changed that, I'm gonna have IBS the rest of my life. You know,
I
it
mean,
is.
and really, it matters. Like your emotional state matters to your body,
Yep.
because that's what like literally runs everything. It controls all the things, and until you're at an even point, your body's just like ah.
Yeah. Your gut is your second brain. So,
Yep,
and everyone's known me in the gut realm forever, and that's why poo stories are perfect. So,
and they're fun and entertaining.
all right. Well, do you have anything else you want to say? And I so appreciate you coming on and talking to me.
I recommend her book, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10. It's hilarious. It's insightful. It will make you cry, laugh, all the things. And it's like wrapped up in this wonderful, faith driven, beautiful book. I love it.
Well,
I love you.
love you too. And thanks for your time today.
You're welcome.
All right.
I will see you later.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.